really go wrong here? Far out. He's about to get on the motorway. Oh, welcome back. We're going floating in the rear end now. We've had the original just half-inch studs and flange type axles. We're probably at the point where it's becoming a bit of a safety issue maybe. So we're going to get rid of these. The guys at Australian Rod and Custom have got us a diff centre. We're going to shoot up to Race Products today and get the floater kit. So we'll sort of explain a bit of that as we go. What do you reckon, Donnie? A bit of safety?
Oh, I think it's needed.
I think so too. We've got another change of plans. We've got 3 cartons can fit up there. We had to move the jack though to do it. But that was a good little wasted spot area. So I've just made up a thing so it can't move. We won't even have to tie it in. Well, that was easy. Touch wood, we never have to do that at the track though. It's a bit easier when you're in the air. Oh, we're still going. Oh, we've got the trailer all ready to party. So we've just got the lights to go and a bit of wiring. We got Bags showing off his new lights he's got us. Top level project lights, here we go.
I can't even get in the box.
You'll get in there, mate, you'll get in there. Last piece, I reckon we should put a underglow one. We'll use one of them to go under the trailer so it lights up at night. Well, how good's this? We're all wired up. You can hear the fridge running. It's just starting to cool down. Hopefully it gets colder than 14 or I won't be a happy boy. Now we've got the inverter on, we've got that charging a battery for a drill or a grinder. We've got our light on charge as well. Everything's done off here so I can turn the lights off just from this switch. That's main power just to our voltmeter so we know what the battery's up to. Pretty cool stuff. There's all the lights inside. We also put one under the back, just so we, if we drop anything at night. Oh, 10 minutes later, we're down to 3 degrees. I like this thing already. We've got our floater back from Ironworks. So they've welded the spindles into the end. So obviously the old flange bearing holders got cut off and these have been slipped in and welded in. Just a bit of what the kit comes with. Your hubs, bearings, locking plates, bolts, washers, wheel nuts. So we're switching to a 5/8 stud. Obviously so that's going to be really strong. We'll never break one of them. Definitely worth doing this sort of stuff. Probably the level we're at, we've probably been a bit lazy really. We're all back in. Now we just got to wait on Courier's Please to get my brakes back to me that left early yesterday. So they should be today. We can't really go too much further until we get them. And then we've got the diff centre apparently finished by tomorrow through Australian Rod and Custom. So they've sorted us out with a full spool and 3 7 gears. So 35 spline stuff now. Definitely a peace of mind. So thanks a lot to the guys there. Now just a quick thing for the guys out there that don't know what a floater is. I never used to know what one was, to be honest, until we sort of started playing with the drag racing stuff, but I soon realised I've seen them before in Land Cruisers and things, trucks and stuff that have got to carry a big weight on the wheel. So on a normal 9-inch, you've got what's called a flanged axle, which is this one here. Here's the bearing and it sits inside the diff housing, which you would have seen. Now on these ones, the bearing is internal. That sits over the housing. On a flanged axle, all the weight of the car is getting put through the axle. So, and it's hanging through here. So if that breaks, and when you're going down the track, you lose the whole wheel. So doing it this way, this is always just spinning free on the car, on the diff housing. You don't actually even have to have an axle in to roll the car. The axle then just slides straight through, and the other end of the axle just goes through this drive plate, which sits on top of the hub, so that way that's getting driven through there. So very simple way. If you ever break an axle, they're nice and easy to get out. You can just take the cap off and punch it the whole way through. So the kit we've got's a Race Products kit. Now they're local here, just on the north side of Brisbane. Awesome group of guys there. I've been dealing with Jamie, really helpful. I've called him probably 5 or 6 times now, just asking questions about things. Very, very good company. They've been doing this stuff for a lot of years, obviously. This is the first time I've personally bought a kit, and I'd definitely be going back there. So well done to them guys. They run a pretty cool outfit. So the theory is, when that's plugged into an Anderson plug on a running car, this little BCDC starts charging, and we can see that there, it's showing 14.5 volts. So as we're driving along, that'll keep the fridge nice and cold, and the beers will be brilliant. Far out, Pauk, you've got GT40s everywhere, mate. So the other thing I was a bit hesitant about, changing to a floater, I was thinking, oh no, I'm gonna have to re-buy all my rear brakes because I had the Wilwood 4 spot calipers on it. But Race Products do a different backing plate that everything bolts onto, from what I believe. So all that goes straight back on the way it came off originally. All your offsets are the same. They've even drilled out my old discs to a 5/8 stud to allow for the bigger wheel studs. So the spacer ring is what gives us the correct offset for whatever rear rotor we're running. So that goes on first. And then all the handbrake shoe assembly will go back on, so you can retain all your factory handbrake. Well, not factory, the Wilwood stuff I had before. It even comes with a tool to do up the big nut. So that the slot's in there, then a 32mm socket, and off you go. The left-hand side is a left-hand thread, and the right-hand side of the car's got a right-hand thread. The instructions tell us to tighten that big nut up to 190 Newton meters. There's our little retainer locking thing, so the nut can never come out by rights. Now they say you can either grease these wheel bearings or just rely on the diff oil, so obviously you'd have to overfill the diff oil to make sure it was coming out through the axle tube and into the bearing. If it was an all-out drag car, I'd probably go that way, but I think for a lot of road Ks we're going to be doing, we're better off with a bit of grease in there. This is probably a better example of that hub being on now, even without an axle in it, and we could bolt the wheel on and actually physically roll the car around. So it does make it easier. I think I've found something for the first time in my life. A kit that actually fits the way the instructions say it should fit. This is actually unbelievable. Well done, Race Products. Your product's awesome. Well, to be honest, it doesn't get easier than that. So that's pretty cool. We'll bang the wheels on and we'll see how good old Steve from Ironworks is. See if he's got these wheels in exactly the same spot as they were. Righto, we used to have these shank wheel nuts, and they were a pain in the ass to try and locate the wheels. So now that the stud's a lot bigger, these come in the kit as well, the spacer and a nut, 2 separate pieces, and that just screws on. So the studs actually locate the back of the wheel. There's a little bit of a step on the stud, so way easier. Oh, well done, Ironworks. You've nailed it, mate. They're exactly the same, so that's good to know. So not as scary as I originally thought, going from a flanged axle over to a floater.
Yeah, so we've got a 35 spine diff setup with a light and strain setup. The 3:7 ratio.
How good is that? That should looks a lot lighter in there anyway.
Yeah, it is. Probably about 24 kilos lighter.
Yeah, right, of spinning mass, so yeah. That's cool. And what's the difference between an aluminium case and a cast iron or cast steel case, whatever these are?
Probably just lightness.
Yeah.
Or less weight.
Yeah.
But these will probably be able to drag around the shock loading.
Yeah, okay.
So it flex as much as I want to do.
That would make sense. So it's ready for all the punishment we can give it, you reckon? So the guys at Australian Riding Custom, they can make any diff to sort of suit your needs. They do a lot of diffs just off the shelf for the early hold and stuff and things like that, but they can also do custom ones. They originally did this diff for us. They do all the centres in-house. Good price too compared to a lot of the other shops out there. So thanks a lot for the support from them. Excellent product, excellent upgrade for the car anyway. Yeah, and I reckon old Dan might feel a bit safe doing 180 mile an hour as well, just quietly.
Well, that was interesting.
Break it down.